loves. We are later in the day today, but I felt a nudge to come and birth a creation, so I thought I would come and sit with, I think, the one and only dandelion I have in my yard right now and deliver whatever is trying to come through. To give you a little kind of gist of what we've been feeling lately as a collective, stepping into our divine role, being more bold, more out there, more real, more raw. Oh. Yes. Yes, that's it. And for me personally, that does mean sharing my truth on a paid platform. So the people that are there are the people that truly resonate and truly want to support, and keeping maybe my social media, but limiting my time on social media so I can devote more time to my practice and getting the information out to those who want to support. And that's really it, kind of in a nutshell. And it's like, as I saw kind of the clock just falling away, and I actually recorded a transmission yesterday, and it's beautiful. It's quite gorgeous. I will upload it. I'm uploading one right now as we speak. I will upload that one tomorrow. And then, so if you're watching this one, it will be the video right before, where the clock is falling. I think it's kind of down here somewhere. There's a bright light, and my body is kind of, it looks like the illumination. It looks like a luminary. It's all black. It's the only one that's all black for a while. Anyway, let's see. Realizing that the revelation, once you awaken to the truth of everything, and the world that was created in a program, that we exit the program. We exit by knowing who we are, remembering who we are, breaking out of the mold, breaking out of the system, daring to be different, daring to be wild and creative and inspired, and taking actions in doing so. And the hardest part, I guess, for me personally, the journey was, you hear these inspired actions, and so you take action every single time. While nothing may perceivingly come of it, that doesn't mean that it's not all happening in the grand orchestration. And I can feel that it was this true testament of faith within myself and trust, to know that what I was hearing, when you hear the call, when you hear these divine messages and you step up to the task, whatever the task is, and you just get it done. I can remember a little story when I had my first launch for withinbyjen, and I had been working diligently on getting my book kind of organized and on form. And I heard within 2 weeks that I needed to get it printed. And of course, there was a version of me that was like, there's not enough time. But I heard, get it done, get it out there. And so I quickly self-published and ordered 100 copies so that I could have it. And then when I got them, there was a page missing. And of course, the page that's missing is kind of like the final piece of it all, where we remember we are who we are. And I'll have to definitely link something to that, or I'll just read it in the next video or something. But I can look back and see how it was so magically designed. And it was just every test that I stepped up to face and to kind of work through, if you will, without fighting it. It was truly working with passion and working with compassion, working with trust and faith and hope the entire way. Taught me more about myself, helped me remember more about myself, more about the versions of us that I had left behind, to kind of bring them back right here, right now. So then you can look back at the past and you can smile because of everything that you've been through. You can look forward with a wide open heart, knowing that everything you've been through has brought you to this revelation, has brought you to this remembrance, but also it's tested every ounce of you to another truth that I can speak honestly. I thought that I had to suppress my anger. I thought I had to not ever show it. But by doing so, I wasn't honoring the truth of who I am. And sometimes in those moments, the lesson kind of was left with me carrying the weight of something that was never mine to carry. And I'm not saying go express your anger on people. I'm just saying that there is a way, my artwork, my writing, that I have been able to allow myself to express it and get it out without it harboring in my vessel. But also now, where a dove just landed on my house, right now where I can express my truth and say, this is frustrating and I feel this anger starting to surface. I don't need to go there, but why do I feel angry? Why am I just aware of my anger right now? Or I'm aware of this feeling trying to come in. I don't need to give it any energy. Where focus goes, energy flows. So how can I be aware that this is trying to enter my space? Close that door, be open, and allow myself to step into a new space of what was once filled with anger can now be filled with abundance, can now be filled with glory and beauty. And so it does take awareness, it does take practice, but it's quite beautiful. So I would encourage you. What else? Yeah. The messages lately, as of late, have been the end of suffering. And that doesn't mean, and so when we say the end of suffering, it just means the chronic plague of a past situation that haunts you, or a past situation, experience that the memories still surface, or a fear of something. And so once you face the fear ceases to exist. Once you face it eye to eye, and you kind of communicate with that version of you, that's all it is a version of you. The fear subsides, and then you begin working with something more real, more tangible, more influential in your life. And little by little, you overcome the deepest insecurities. That doesn't mean that on a bigger playing field, to say that I'm not a little nervous about getting in front of hundreds of people and speaking. I will definitely more than likely feel some nerves, but is that going to stop me? Absolutely not. I have been in the situation where I can say, okay, I feel this like tingling, nervous sensation, but I know that that also is my nervous system, like kind of jumping for joy. Like, this is new and it's exciting, and I can allow that to take place instead of myself crawling back into a place that I wasn't doing anything, or I was nervous and scared, so I wasn't even trying. I wasn't allowing myself to open and to surrender to the moment, to allow it to teach me. We were watching something last night. It's actually the Will Smith Pole to Pole, which I love so very much. And if in some beautiful way you end up watching this, I love the story, and I love your authenticity, and I love the way that you've shown up in those spaces. So thank you for that. But he talks about learning, and it was so funny. Like, if you entered a playing field where you knew everything, you knew all the fears, all the worries, all the doubts, would you still continue? Or also, if you enter into a playing field without knowing anything, and then you just allow life to happen and you step up to the plate, whatever life brings you, also knowing what you know because of your past, which playing field would you choose? But also, I can look back on my even childhood growing up, thinking in classes that I didn't excel in, I didn't excel because I didn't know, and because I didn't know, I didn't allow myself to learn. So I'm going to say that one more time. Because I didn't know, I didn't open up to allow myself to learn, because that's just how, for some reason, that was the mindset that I had. So once I allowed myself to really open up to say, this is a learning experience for whatever it is I'm doing, I'm just going to allow myself to learn through this process. And it opened up millions of doors that I never even thought possible. The transition of my life in the last, I can't say full 6 years, because so much of the work has been taking place, the intimacy, the true internal work, the kingdom of heaven found within, God is within us. That work was primarily for like the 4 and 5 years. But then the real revelation was me the whole time. But it was also this beautiful moment of that was all helping me get right here. And just being like, wow, what a beautiful journey. What a beautiful, beautiful journey. And you know, like in Tarzan, when you're at the end of your rope and there's no more rope, like it's just, this is it. The rope, when you go down into the darkest moments of pain and suffering, and then for some of us into the pain and suffering of the collective. And if you're watching this, you're more than likely one of them. You go into the pain and suffering of the collective so that we can alchemize it and we can bring it back to neutrality, bring it back to love, bring it back to source as an offering. Here is what I have found. Here's the offering. Please bless it and make it new. And even speaking those words are hitting in a new precious space for me. That is a gift. That is a blessing. But then you see, you go here and you come back out and you learn each and every playing field. And then when you're at the end of the rope, the next space is everything. It's everything. And that's also why nothing could actually come into form until you got to the next rope. You got to the next space so you could take a hold, and we rise. We are elevated out of the frequency field of time, of the matrix, of the mind games, and you exit. You exit. So I love when these messages come through, and you never know how they're going to be delivered, but you hear a little nudge, you feel a little nudge, you're like, okay, let's go deliver. And then you surprise yourself. You're like, man, I'm so grateful that I listened, because that was the revelation I needed to hear. That was something I needed to hear. And also for you all, because we're all working here together, and we're thinking about it like we've exited all these playing fields. And if you're here and you've kind of never stumbled, but you're here and you're working in guilt or shame or judgment, or I should say shame, guilt. I can't even call them out in order, because they're just like, they hit kind of like this sometimes. And you're having a hard time with it. Just sit with whatever feeling is plaguing you right now. Sit with it and honor it. See it eye to eye, because it normally is a version of you that has experienced it, that has felt it, but you never allowed yourself to feel it. And now the feeling is coming to you saying, this is the gift. Please, it's us. It's us in harmony and in unison. And so there's webs in each and every playing field. And as we elevate more and more, we weave the higher playing field so that people can come up and rise out or rise to a higher frequency field. And we're giving this information, so there's more information flowing, and it's kind of like it can ping off of us as we're the beacons. The more light you hold, the more light you can deliver. But also it's like, it kind of seems as if it's making it easier. We go through it so that we can soften the blow, and that there's just more information out there for you to receive. Definitely with discernment right now, please. But remember that the message should and will always remain for the divine Mother, Father, God, because you can't not have one without the other, through service to humanity, for our highest and best good and the highest good of all. Okay, this is not a playing field of you get what you want right now, because if you get what you want right now, that might mean that 100 million other people have to suffer. That's not what we're here for, okay? We're here to elevate and inspire. So please make note of that. Also, if you only hear this video and you never come back to my video again, I hope that it inspires you and leaves you with something to think about and nourish and grow within yourself, because it is not me. I am only the vessel here sharing the messages. The kingdom of heaven is found within you. The work is done within. The work is done in your most quiet, intimate, sacred places where you can sit and actually listen. When you listen, you hear. When you ask, it is given. So please be mindfully aware that if you're looking and you're following it's not about followers. It's not about followers in this space. It is about true empowerment. I hope that my videos empower you and inspire you to go do the work so that you never have to come back to me. A happy person when we meet is someone that you fill them without leaving you empty, but you fill the spaces to where they no longer need you, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. And while I would love support, that doesn't mean that I don't love support and I don't encourage. If you are hearing this and you want to support this work and this mission that I'm doing, please, by all means, I will leave the links below. Please, by all means, because the work and the dedication also teaches you to have nothing and to still have faith and hope and to still continue on this path with nothing. Because with nothing comes everything, but you just don't know when. I had to let go of when to realize the why. Once I realized the why, the when happened. So, yeah, I think I will leave that there. I love you very, very much. It's an honor, a blessing, and a privilege to be here and to be of service. I'm Jennifer Renee. This is Within by Jen. It's within you. It's within each and every one of us. It always has been. And I will see you all in the next video. Mwah.